This statue is all that's left to be seen of the temple. The rest disappeared underwater when the lagoon formed. These plants are firmly attached. I'll fill it with water. There's some water in the jug. I've seen a worryingly large number of plane wrecks in the last week. At least this one wasn't my fault. Let's get up there and take a look. The cockpit's ruined, but there's a glove compartment here that looks relatively intact. This wreck's old. The jungle's begun eating into it. There's a cardboard box in relatively good condition in the glove compartment, but everything else is foobar. Let's see what's in this box. Looks like an old radio. An empty cardboard box. A radio with a hand-operated generator. You produce power by turning this little crank on the side. Oh, it fell off. The little crank fell out of the hexagonal shaft in the radio. If I need to use the old thing, I can always stick it back together. A hand-operated generator provides the necessary power for the radio. Just turn the crank and juice it up. I've at least... The cover for the electrics. The cover is attached with 4 hexagonal nuts. I need something to unscrew them. Wow, blind luck. The radio crank fits right into the bolts on the cover. Ah, there's an electrics cable under here. Might come in handy. A long power cable from the crashed plane. This should moisten the bloodstain. The water's seeped into the dirt and the blood. I've soaked the cloth in the blood. There are certain things I like carrying around with me. Matches, booze, women. Old, muddy, blood-stained rags are not one of those things. I'll connect one end of the cable to the contacts on the radio. I connected the power cable to the contacts on the radio. I'll knot the blood-stained rag onto the loose end of the cable. I connected the power cable to the contacts on the radio. The radio can be charged electrically, and that charge could then be conducted down the cable. Sharks, I'm sure, are sensitive beings at heart. Even a small shock should be enough for him to turn tail. Of course, he's right on the lagoon bed. I'll need him to be right on top of the cable for it to work. Hopefully the smell of blood will be enough to attract his attention. It's working. The shark's surfaced, and he's circling the bait. I need to hurry before he pulls the whole thing under. Okay, the radio's on the bank of the lagoon, and the cable with the bait is in the water. I can see the shark circling from here. I am this close to solving this puzzle. I'm not moving the radio now. Whap! 40 volts straight to the face. Fenton Paddock, top of the food chain. Time to get down there and check out this temple. The temple looks more or less intact from the outside. Maybe it's in good condition inside as well. Who knows? It's a huge gate with a recess in the center. How am I supposed to get in? I have my strengths, but breathing underwater isn't one of them. There's a pole stuck in the mud here. I'll collect some mud. Just mud. Oh, and a little snail. How am I supposed to get in? Wet, muddy clay from the lagoon bed. This metal rod has a sharp edge. Given how long it's been in the water, it's remarkably rust-free. There, I've managed to cut away the plants with the sharp edge of the pole. There's a small carving here. It's carved into the stone. There's not much I can do with it.
A thick vine. It's pretty thick. I can't just pull it down. I severed the vine. It's dripping some kind of oily sap. There's oily plant sap dripping from where I severed it. Men can moisturize too, you know. I'll soak the reeds with some of the sap.
The reeds absorb the sap.
If it's good for my skin, it can't do any harm to an old rock. I'll oil it up. I've coated the carving with the plant oil. The cardboard softened in the water.
I softened the cardboard in water.
Perfect. This should make for a good mould. The damp cardboard will dry around the carving, and the plant oil should let me get it off again in one piece. The damp cardboard moulded itself around the carving. It should be dry pretty soon. The cardboard's dried in the heat. If I just remove it carefully, and yes, a beautiful cardboard mould.
The cardboard's dried out and moulded into shape. I fill the cardboard mould with clay. I filled the cardboard mould with clay.
Let's hope it's hot enough to fire the clay. That should do it. The cardboard's burned away, and the clay looks pretty solid. It's lying in the embers. I need something to pull it out with. The hardened clay's lying in the fire. Got it. The old man walked to the neighbouring village to tell them I saved the day and they can come home. I bet he spins a good yarn. I'll be a 6'5" Adonis by the time he's done. Not that I'm a million miles off that already. It fits. We're in business. How has no water reached this part of the temple? It smells old and dank, but at least I can breathe. It's so well preserved. The painting seems to portray a scene Professor Hayes told me about. It's a group of herdsmen or hunters entering a large cave in the mountains. These are the people who discovered the entrance to Shambhala many thousands of years ago. It's a magnificent city with some kind of glowing orb in the center. This must be Shambhala, the light at the center. That must be the source of these morphogenetic fields. It's the world's soul. There's a round stone jutting out of the wall here. I'll grab it.
A round stone with some sort of decoration on it.
There's a loose stone protruding slightly from this painting. The same characters as the monastery in Tibet. This is definitely the right place. These glass windows must be thick as hell to withstand the water pressure, but this place was supposed to have been built over 10,000 years ago. They should barely have had 2 sticks to rub together. Christ, all these stories and legends. They're all beginning to feel very real. The painting up there has a number of people reaching the shores of a sea or a river by boat. These must be the Shambhala survivors, the ones who came here to hide the second key. That can't be. That looks like a British Army uniform. But this place was supposed to have been built millennia ago. The painting shows burning houses and many, many dead people. They're fighting one another on a huge mountain of corpses. But they don't look like warriors. They're just townsfolk, murdering one another. Is this the fall of Shambhala? The inexplicable catastrophe that Professor Hayes mentioned, but he said it was a dragon, and Kim translated something similar back at the monastery. These people are killing each other. But why? And another stone. There's a round stone here. It must have fallen out of the ceiling or the wall. Another round stone. Here's another one of these stones. There's a plinth in the middle of the room. Okay, we've got 6 circular recesses arranged around a symbol. This must be where the artifact was stored all that time ago. I'd better take a closer look. There's a small slab in the middle of the plinth with a symbol on it.